Hey guys, Joe here. Welcome back to the Smackdown episode. So sorry I've been away the past couple of weeks and I didn't put Smackdown NXT up last week. It was mainly because I was celebrating my junior serve results. I did pretty well. And my gunner was in hospital, so I couldn't really do anything like that. Hope you guys understand. But anyway, let's get into Smackdown. You have 2 weeks to cover the episodes on the 13th of September and the 20th of September. So we're going to cover both episodes very quickly in this one, just to get hang of it. I'll do this against some of NXT, but anyways, let's get into this. So, as you can see here, everything has gone to absolute hell. But as AJ Styles is the new WWE Champion, but John Cena came back. Cena came back and says he wants to become a 16-time World Champion. And he basically said, you have something that belongs to me, and I've decided I want it back. That's his words, actually. But Dean Ambrose then came out and says, you low-blowed me, that's mine, I want it. And it was like a three-way between the two. Then Shelby Man came out, here comes the money. And the champ that runs the camp, AJ Styles, will now have to defend his title at Backlash. He had No Mercy, I should say, against John Cena and Dean Ambrose, stacking the odds against the champion. So it's a triple threat. And also in that main event, Cena and Ambrose would go off against... Cena and Ambrose will team up. That went well the last time. Against Styles and a partner of his choosing. I wonder who that could be. Anyways, let's get into the next bit of the show. So up next was a rematch from Backlash. The Hype Bros, Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder versus Jimmy and Jay Uso. Usos won the last time, and they indeed got the win this time. Jimmy raked Mojo's eyes, classic heel tactics. Usos are now heel now, by the way. Is it the smartest move? Maybe not, but I do see where they're coming from, and I do see they have had heat ever since they started to become good pals with Roman Reigns. And personally, I do think that count is a bit bland, so I do think this change for them is good. Although I just don't really like their new ring gear. I wish they kept like their face paint. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyways, Jey Uso finished off Mojo Rawley with a Samoan splash from the top rope to get the victory. I do know where this goes now, but I'm not going to say it here since spoilers for this week's SmackDown. Because this is extremely fun to do. Sorry about that. I just ate before I did this. But yeah, hope the Usos are looking to be one of the most dominant tag teams on SmackDown, which they should be since they've been there the longest and they are a good talent. But let's get into the next segments of the show. So next was a heated promo between The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Daniel Bryan. Anyways, Miz came out to boast about his Backlash victory. It's like, I'm the best. I got the belts. Even though this isn't the best belt on the brand, it's probably the least important. But who cares? I'm the best. But out comes Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler was upset that Maurice cost him his match by spraying, I don't know, was it water or perfume, something like that, in Ziggler's face, and he wanted the rematch. But Miz said no. But Daniel Bryan said there will be at No Mercy, and basically that's what's going to happen. But he didn't say at No Mercy, that will happen. But Miz said no, there's not going to be a rematch until my contract is resolved. Definitely good. It's good. It was good stuff from The Miz and Ziggler. I do think Miz and Ziggler are probably some of the most underrated people on the roster. I do think The Miz is a very, very good heel. Probably the best heel WWE have today, since you can actually boo him. And Ziggler, he's a good workhorse. I do think they need to find someone or build up someone that The Miz can challenge. Maybe build up someone like Baron Corbin or a new guy who's on SmackDown, which I will get to in a bit. But yeah, I would like to see The Miz have more good matches and not have them end with interference from Maurice. But yeah, I'm excited for the No Mercy match. But let's get into the new arrival on SmackDown. So as you can see, Jack Swagger is now on SmackDown with a new look, it looks like. Looking like, I don't know, a dad trying to be a goth or something like that with the chain there or something like that. Anyways, whatever. The match was supposed to be between Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin, but Corbin attacked Crews before the match began, and Jack Swagger arrived and had this stare down before Corbin left on his own accord, and Jack Swagger said that he's on SmackDown now. This is the guy I'd like to see the Miz fight. I think Swagger is a very good wrestler, and he can do some good stuff. Like, sure, his world title run back in 2010 when he was on SmackDown wasn't really that good, but I do think he can carry a division, maybe a smaller division, maybe the Intercontinental title picture on SmackDown. I do think he's definitely going to be a big contender, and I would like to see either him, Corbin, or Ziggler take the title off The Miz. Although I wouldn't take the title off The Miz just yet. But anyways, let's move on to the number one contendership match for Becky Lynch's women's title. So we're continuing to zoom through the week, and now we have the women's match on SmackDown. As you can see, it's Naomi versus Nikki Bella versus Alexa Bliss versus Natalya versus Carmella to decide who would face Becky Lynch at No Mercy for the Women's Championship on SmackDown. And Becky Lynch thanked the WWE Universe for their support and said that she was ready to take on all comers. Pretty much, this basically like saying, look, we have these people. They can actually wrestle, except for maybe Naomi. I'm sorry, but nah. But anyways, Alexa Bliss won, which is pretty cool. I do like Alexa Bliss a lot. She is a pretty good wrestler. I do think her gimmick is interesting. It's like a spoiled, like, teenager. Sure, it's like a Harley Quinn sort of thing going on now. Again, WWE capitalizing on Suicide Squad, but thank God she didn't get Pirate Paul Burchill. But anyways, Bliss then taunted Becky after the match. So I'm really excited for their match at No Mercy. I do think they can put on a good feud. I would expect the feud to go on until Survivor Series, and that Becky will win the feud. And I do think then for the Rumble it'll be between Nikki Bella and Lynch. I do think Nikki will win that feud. Then they'll have on Raw the 4 Horsewomen match at WrestleMania, since now they're doing a triple threat between Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte at Clash of Champions this Sunday. But what am I to say? I should really stop speculating because it's getting way over the limit. And let's move on to Heath Slater, probably one of the best things about SmackDown at the moment. So this wasn't really like a mad segment or whatever, although there is a tag team match on after this segment. But it was really nice to see Slater and RHYNO get some time like this. As Heath Slater, after winning the title, he got a SmackDown contract, which I thought was really nice. And yeah, I think it was a pretty cool segment, and like Slater was really funny in the segment. RHYNO was so just like a beast, just staring at him. Anyways, then Shane McMahon made it official, but then Slater thanked everyone, and then proclaimed that he and Ryback would defend their new titles against any team, anywhere, at any time. Out comes the Ascension, Connor and Victor, and they wanted a match against them, and that match is right now. I'm not going to cut to another segment because we all know Slater and RHYNO won this match against the Ascension. Slater and RHYNO kept... RHYNO got the victory with a gore on Victor, which I have to admit though, I don't like the way they're handling Slater, and like to say, I know he's supposed to be like a goofball, but he can wrestle. He is a good wrestler, but they're just not showcasing him more. I like to see a situation where it's like Slater has to do it by himself, and he showcases what a talent he can be. But that's all, for me. Just like I don't really care. And up next is a continuation of the Wyatt Orton feud. So up next was Randy Orton, the Viper. And he came before everyone and was pretty angry about his blindside attack by Bray Wyatt at Backlash. Even though we all know that Orton had a concussion, it was confirmed before the event that he would not be taking part. I think it was was either Dave Meltzer or Wrestling Newsletter that reported it. Anyways, Orton wanted to attack Wyatt and like give him, I don't know, an RKO, I presume. But Wyatt basically just said like appear on the Titantron and continue his mind games. And then we had him like the sort of ring thing, and the lights flickering, and Bray Wyatt was there on the announce table and accepted Owen's challenge at No Mercy, and then vanished. But then it came on again, and Eric Rowan was there, and tried to attack Owen, but Owen, of course, gave him the RKO hashtag from out of nowhere. I don't like the way they're bringing Wyatt and Rowan back together. I mean, excuse me, again, I said I hate before this, but I know that I know what they're trying to do. Like Luke Harper has been cleared to action, have the Wyatt family on SmackDown, but the thing is, I don't want that. I want Wyatt to Bray Wyatt to become his own guy, and I do think him splitting off from Rowan a couple of weeks ago was a good idea. They just couldn't keep that down, I guess. Well, up next was Cena and Ambrose versus Styles and question mark. Right, so since Styles couldn't find anyone to tag with him because everyone hates him because of all his hey, I'm the best, I'm the champ that runs the camp, I'm the face that runs the place. But Shane McMahon gave him appointed them as a partner. Local competitor James Ellsworth, which best return in history. I was so happy when he came out, but The Miz blindsided and attacked him, and Miz volunteered to be Styles' partner because he wants to be in the main event. So we have the WWE Champion and the Intercontinental Champion versus John Cena, a former WWE Champion, and Dean Ambrose, a former WWE and Intercontinental Champion. I think we all know what's going to happen with Cena. They're going to try to get him to do the Grand Slam. Anyways, short story short, Cena and Ambrose won. But afterwards, Ambrose gave Cena dirty deeds, and that was huge. So it's looking like Styles is sort of gonna cower away between as Cena and Ambrose get their stuff sorted. But I do think Styles is definitely going to walk away from No Mercy with the title. Let's move on to this week's SmackDown. Thank Christ. It's going to start off with Becky and Alexa. So let's get into that. So there's less stuff to cover this week on SmackDown. Thank God. This review is always getting long enough. But up first was a contract signing between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. Basically, Lynch and Bliss were doing back and forth. They're like, oh, you're not gonna beat me, and Alexa's like, oh, I'm gonna beat you. But then they started to get the fight into a fight. Becky got an advantage, but Alexa turned the tables literally by knocking the table on top of Becky. But then Becky started to fight back and sent Alexa on the ramp, which No Mercy. I do think, as I said, it's going to be a good match. I do think Becky's going to walk away with the win. And there's nothing else more to say here, except Daniel Bryan was there, of course. But up next is the return of American Alpha versus the Usos. And whoever wins will face SLATER and RHYNO for the tag titles at No Mercy. So as you see, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable were finally back. After a long hiatus, 3 week hiatus. Was it 2 weeks? 3 weeks, I should say. Yeah, 3 weeks. Anyways, the Usos won the match. They were targeting Gable's leg, and he tagged in Jordan, who just did a lot of cool stuff. But they targeted, I said, Gable's knee, and they pretty much dominated American Alpha during this match. They weren't really on their game. Jey Uso, I believe. Jey Uso defeating Jason Jordan with the Samoan Splash to become the #1 contenders. So this feels like a bit sloppy or a bit rushed or anything. It's just I've been doing at this for like 20-30 minutes now. Anyways, it was a good match overall. The Usos not completely dominated. The American Alpha did get some offense in there, but I don't know. The Usos weren't really on their game. The Usos, I believe, will go over Slater and RHYNO, and then that'll be the end of their tag ship. And then the Usos will feud with American Alpha over the titles, which I do believe American Alpha will win. Anyways, let's get on to the next state of affairs, which is the supposed match from last week: Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews. So Crews Corbin from last week, but with Jack Swagger at ringside. Baron Corbin did win with the end of days, but Swagger was saying, trying to torment him. But anyways, similar to last week, Swagger and Corbin did have a stare off, but Corbin decided to leave. So yeah, I don't know what's really going on between them. I do think they're going to have a match soon, maybe next week, and that'll lead to a triple threat between the three. Probably at the No Mercy kickoff, and then we'll contendership with the Intercontinental title, maybe. Since I do think Miz will probably retain against Ziggler, although they'll have a best of three. I have no clue what's going on, but I do believe they'll have a match in the near future. I'm extremely tired at the moment, so sorry if this is extremely bad. But up next was Miz, who just resigned for SmackDown, versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. So, The Miz, who's defending his Intercontinental title and just re-signed with SmackDown, has to defend his title against Dolph Ziggler. Basically, they renegotiated his contract. However, to his surprise, in the fine print, it said he had to defend the Intercontinental title against Dolph Ziggler on SmackDown. And if he didn't, his new contract would be void. The two went back and forth. Maurice, of course, playing a very big factor in the match, trying to get Ziggler's attention, but Maurice was ejected from ringside after distracting Ziggler one too many times. However, The Miz defeated Ziggler by spraying Ziggler himself behind the referee's back, hitting the skull-crushing finale, and taking the match. Again, another great match between the two. Now that we got their second match, I do think that this feud is going to culminate at No Mercy. Hopefully. I'm just getting sick of The Miz and Dolph Ziggler. I mean, I know they're putting on good matches, but it's like Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. They put on fantastic matches, but after a while, you just got to start to get sick of it. Anyways, up next is Orton versus Eric Rowan. So let's get into this match. So Orton versus Rowan. Rowan now back with Bray Wyatt after Wyatt leaving him last month or so. Pretty strange. Versus Randy Orton, the guy who Bray Wyatt took out and pretty much cost him a match against Kane at Backlash. Anyways, Orton did win the match via the RKO. But after the match concluded, the lights flickered and Rowan disappeared with a sheep mask in his place. And then Wyatt was on the Titantron, claiming the end was near for Randy Orton. Clearly far away from the last contest between the two men, Orton and Wyatt. But I do think that it should come to an end at No Mercy. Maybe stretch it on till SummerSlam. Maybe have Wyatt win at SummerSlam. But since he doesn't really get any big pay-per-view wins, maybe just put Orton over. But again, people will be upset saying, oh, you're burying Randy Orton. Well, first of all, no, since you put him in a high-profile feud with Bray Wyatt. And secondly, he can't be buried. He's the 12-time world champion. And as this getting into the women's match of the night, which is the other four women who aren't Becky and Bliss in their title match, in a tag team match. So, yeah, let's get into that. So as you see, Nikki Bella and Naomi will go up against Natalya and Carmella. Interestingly enough, 3 of these 4 women appear on Total Divas, which is why I like Carmella the most. Anyways, they win. Nikki and Naomi win by disqualification. Pretty much. right as this title team match again. Carmella ripped Nikki Bella out of Natalia's sharpshooter and completely started to attack her, ram her into the barricade, completely dominate her. So I do think they're going to have like a match at No Mercies. This has been building for a couple of weeks now. So I do believe they're going to have a match. Maybe probably leave Naomi and Natalia off the No Mercy card. Mainly because we don't really, it'd be cool to have 3 women's matches, but I don't think they're really going to do that. Plus, with the other feuds like Miz Ziggler, Cena, Ambrose Styles, Orton Wyatt, Corbin Swagger, I do think there's like too many to insert an additional 3. I think 2 is like a nice round number. And then maybe they could do it in the kickoff show. Maybe just extend it a little bit and have Naomi versus Natalia, see who would get into a triple threat. Maybe Carmella and Nikki's could be a match, could be a number one contendership match, and whoever wins between Naomi and Natalia come in to that match. I think that'd be a good way to do it. Call me Adam the Blombier. Ding! Let's get into the main event now. Cena Ambrose. So up next was Dean Ambrose versus John Cena. The winner would face AJ Styles next week for the WWE Championship. Boom! We're having a title match next week. Beat that Raw. And it's after a heated exchange between the two. It was a pretty good match between Cena and Ambrose. But Ambrose did get the victory after a roll-up, which, you know, not really making Ambrose look strong there, to sort of make him the sort of heel, Cena the face, and Styles like an anti-hero. Or maybe they're doing like Ambrose anti-hero, then Styles the heel, even though people cheer Styles. As after the match, AJ Styles defeated, bet up John Cena and bet up Dean Ambrose after the match and began his celebration. He's like, yeah, I'm the best. And as Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon came out and announced that Ambrose was still owed his one-on-one rematch, which would be next week. Ambrose got up and did a dirty deeds to AJ Styles to send the crowd home sort of happy. So it's going to be a great match next week between Styles and Ambrose. I can't wait for it. The match at Backlash was exceptional. So I can't wait for their match next week on Smackdown. I don't really think Cena's going to be interfering much. At the end, if he does come out, probably just attitude adjustment, both of them after the match. But I can't wait for that next week. That's been Smackdown for this and last week. I'll do the same for NXT tomorrow. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you later. Take care.